recording later on. So as I said, we'll be talking about how to maximize e-commerce revenue growth the lean way. From the organizational perspective, in case you will have any questions, please just write them on chat. I'll be trying to answer all of them immediately. So you will be sure that you have all the things you wanted to discuss. Also, at the end of the webinar, I will have short Q&A, so I'll be happy to answer all your questions. So the topics we'll be covering today will be, I would like to start from a little bit of background to the current situation, how the situation in the world is looking like, what are the main factors that affect different kinds of businesses, especially e-commerce. Then how a bit longer processes that last for at least last couple of years affect the e-commerce business. And once we discuss all these challenges, I will go through the presentation that will be explaining the lean approach, the lean e-commerce marketing, how it works, what it is actually, and how to achieve the best results using the lean approach in your e-commerce marketing. So in case you have any questions, please feel free to ask them on chat, and I think that we can already start. So first of all, let's start from how it all started, let's say. So as we all know, during the pandemics, we all seen a huge growth in speed, how the e-commerce businesses develop, how many new e-commerce stores have been launched because of the fact that offline businesses had to move online. Also, the revenues of e-commerce retail stores vastly improved thanks to due to the pandemics actually. So people were forced to move online, and actually, if you look at the data, during the first 3 months of pandemic, the growth that the e-commerce went through equals actually the expected growth that it normally would be achieved within 10 years. So it was like huge leap the e-commerce businesses went through when it comes to the first times in the pandemics. And because of that, a lot of research was made what are the expectations on how the changes that started during the pandemics affected the behavior of customers, how many new people, despite the pandemic was over, decided to stay and keep buying online, how it all affected the growth of the e-commerce businesses. So there were lots of forecasts that anticipated a steady growth within at least 5 upcoming years. So but we know that in times of crisis there are better times. So once the pandemic was over, businesses went back to sell normally. We started to plan our resources. We start to see the growth in the e-commerce. So those were very happy times for e-commerce businesses. However, it's not all flowers and rainbows, unfortunately, because as it turns out, even though the forecasts were very optimistic, once the pandemics, this fast growth started, after some time, we've started to see a decrease in the speed of growth. So there are many researchers that say why, and actually I will be explaining you this now. There are actually 2 main reasons. First of all, during the pandemics, with all of these new regulations that appeared, lockdowns, like turbulences in how people should invest their money. People were panic buying, making supplies for themselves, and it all affected the long-term perspective on how to invest money, and how much money was spent, how much money was actually driven back into market by countries, actually states, and it all affected the inflation. So what we can see now across the world is very fast growth of inflation. Actually, if we compare March 2021 to March 2022, it's doubled, and it still seems to be growing. So we don't know yet what will be the global inflation in upcoming months. However, it all, like, as you know, inflation will be affecting lots of different things: the prices of gasoline, prices of products, credits, that's and also the savings the people have. So it all makes the entire situation more complicated. And if it's not enough, then February happens. Russia invaded Ukraine, so it has, I would say, even more consequences than the inflation, because if we look at the impact on e-commerce, only on e-commerce, from the perspective of the war in Ukraine, there are a couple of big factors, the macro factors that affect the business. One of them is the fact that supply chains were disrupted. There were economic sanctions put on Russia. There were a huge amount of companies suspending their operation in Russia, and what is related to that, these economic sanctions and ban of many products from Russia. Many countries stopped to import products from Russia. Russia is a huge country, and they have a lot of different kind of resources that are used for production of different goods. So it means that the companies that were earlier dependent on the resources from Russia were within quite problematic situation, because they had to find alternative sources for their for the resources they use, materials, metals, lots of different resources. What is related to that is the fact that shipping there were additional shipping surcharges. So in case you are ordering any products, the delivery costs are increasing, like the cost of importing goods. The companies have to find new providers from different countries. The gasoline costs increase. Like in states now, they have unprecedented prices when it comes to the gasoline. The gasoline was always cheap in states. If we look at prices in Europe, they are also like 50% in some countries grew. So you can imagine how big impact it will have on all the businesses that depend on the materials that has to be imported. Also, it affects the regular customers. Like if they are ordering some delivery, and the cost of delivery will also grow, because the couriers, the post has to also deliver the goods. And also, because of the unstable situation, there were huge changes in the consumer demand. People changed the list of goods that are priority for them. It's like similar to the pandemics. Like some people started to stockpile products, make a lot of supplies. They stopped making any investments, stopped buying goods that are not essential. So it's especially like if you have more premium goods and people are less willing to spend their money, what you will do with these products. So in the warehouses, there were lots of products that were not purchased, so they were just kept. Then the cost of keeping them in warehouses were also growing. So in fact, the businesses were put in quite difficult situation what to do with all these goods. So what they can do, they can start fighting with prices, like to sell these products that should be expensive, had to, we had to set up some new promotional offers for them. Otherwise, they will be just staying in our warehouses. Also, like from the business perspective, if you had any plans regarding how to develop the business, how to get some credit, some new investments to expand your business. If we look at the instability of different currencies, inflation, banks are not so willing now to give credits at good conditions. Yeah? So all the investments have had to slow down. And also, like what is related to the disrupted supply chains, the delivery times are expanding. So all of these effects are crippling the e-commerce businesses. So we've seen already very optimistic perspective for the growth of e-commerce. Now with the inflation, war in Ukraine, we don't know for how long it will last. All the plans that you had, all the plans that about your partners, your sources of especially for the manufacturing companies as well. It's flipped. It flipped their plans actually. So it's not about only the product and the business, but also the way people think, how they are willing to spend their money. So it's also affected the mindsets of people. If we look at the data, even though there were forecasts that were saying that there will be a steady growth, what we can actually see is the revenue drop in e-commerce. In Q1, globally it's dropped 3%. In Europe, which is like closer, of course, to Ukraine and Russia, and this instability is just bigger, we can see a 13% drop in e-commerce revenues. So it's like huge disproportion from what was foreseen, what was forecasted. So besides all of these macro effects that are currently happening, there are some other things that make the e-commerce businesses struggling, to compete with other companies on the market. And these are some factors that are happening in last 5 years or more. One thing is, I will just mention it quickly, not to focus too much on this thing, but I think it's quite obvious to all of you. There are some growing data privacy awareness factors that are related to GDPR, new legislations, new technological solutions and policies. Actually, all of you probably know that third-party tracking will be soon phased out by Google. So the advertising market will have to change according to the growing privacy awareness and also the expectations of customers not to be tracked, to have more privacy, to be in control of their data. On the other hand, what is related to the growing data privacy awareness, the same customer who is expecting to get more privacy also expects to get better customer experience. So how to combine that? How not to collect data from the customer, how to not track the customers, and at the same time still be able to improve their shopping experience, to help them find products more quickly, to present relevant offers to them, to speed up the way the time they are able to find products and do it in a very user-friendly way. So it's all like another challenge. Because of all of these instabilities, on one hand, we are trying to increase the loyalty of customers. We are trying to, by improving their customer experience, keep them longer with us. But on the other hand, due to this inflation and war as well, people are more looking into into their wallets, and they are making decisions based on money. So again, like even though we have very good loyalty program, we have quite a lot of loyal customers in our database. People are tending to get back to us. Still, we have to consider that at this turbulent times, the price can be a factor that will be the first thing they will be looking at, and not always we are able to provide the best price. So again, what we have to revert to the customer experience. We need to fight with other means for these customers. And also what is like coming with digitalization and wider access to different media, to different technologies, the buying process is not like a straight line. The customers are using different devices. They are using desktop, mobile phones. They are buying in physical stores if there are some businesses that have both online and offline. There are some trends, like for example, there are people who are entering the physical store, and before they buy the product, they have to check the prices and alternative products online. So it all makes the buying journey more complicated. You have more siloed data, and it's harder to combine all of this to provide this better experience to your customers. So with all of this, what we can say is actually that e-commerce marketing is on one hand very exciting thing, because there are a lot of new challenges, there's the big dynamics of things that are happening. But on the other hand, working in e-commerce marketing is a very demanding job. It requires a lot of flexibility, a lot of ideas how to be innovative, how to adjust to your customers, how to be first to do something before your competition does it. So all of these is there are some challenges that are related to that. Like there's a complexity of the omnichannel experience. The competition is very aggressive. The customer acquisition costs are growing. It's harder to get new customers actually, and also it's harder to keep the existing ones. And it is very important to be able to individualize the way we communicate with the customers. Everybody expects to be treated as a person, as a the customer you already know. They expect you to know what they want. Otherwise, they will just look for a different provider that will be better at this. So all of this affects the conversion rates and the marketing ROI from the systems you were used to use actually. And there are, from the e-commerce marketing perspective, not only from the business perspective, some things that makes this all, improvements that we're planning a little bit harder to achieve. So there are increasing costs of operations. There is growing dependency on IT, because if we are about to use the customer data wisely, if we want to combine the data and be able to deliver these better experiences, we need to have a possibility to easily manage this data. So those companies that didn't use the technologies that are, let's say, most recent, most innovative, they are highly dependent on IT. Any kind of campaign you need to run, you need to ask your IT guys, to export some data from one system, then combine it and create some report, import it to a different one. So, and also the analysis of the existing campaigns is also getting super difficult to tell what are the actual reasons why the effectiveness is changing, what is the performance of different campaigns. So it's all, I don't want to use a bad word, but it's all very complicated. So the problems that we usually hear as it's hard, from the e-commerce marketing department perspective, the revenue expectations are hardly achieved, or they are very hard or not achieved at all. The customer's expectations change. We need to apply new technologies like buy now, pay later. It's like common thing now. A couple of years ago, if customer wanted to buy a product that they didn't have money, they were just taking a loan or a credit, and then they were buying. Now it's far easier for them to make a purchase with buy now, pay later services, which is like becoming a standard niche of the e-commerce businesses. But this is not the only thing. Like many different delivery options. In different countries, there are different delivery companies, and customers have their own favorites. So the more options you have, the better you can fit into the customer expectations, the better results you will get. It's harder to get your to get loyalty of your customers. And also it's easier to lose customers now with this instabilities. There are some metrics that like average order size, order frequency. It's all, like, let's say, related to loyalty. Like if customers are looking for alternatives, there are more stores on the market that can compete with the price. They have just different suppliers, different partners. They use different technologies and so on. So it's all getting more competitive again and again. And also the result is that the strategies that we had are slowed down. We have to double check every step that we are taking now, as it can heavily affect the businesses. The marketing department actually in e-commerce have low impact because there are too many external factors they have to take into consideration while they are planning their activities, and it's hard to challenge and meet the revenue expectations from the board, from your CEO. And is there a solution for that? So we believe that lean marketing is the good approach to take in this unstable times. And what lean marketing is? So actually, lean marketing is the strategy in which you are reaching the customer at the lowest possible cost without involving expensive media. So we are trying to remove all the unnecessary tools, campaigns, things like that don't have direct impact on the revenue. And also like from your perspective, but also from the customer's perspective, we want to remove from our strategy the activities that are not bringing value to the target customer. We want to focus only on those best performing with the best ROI activities. So how does lean marketing work? So first of all, it prioritizes based on reality. And so I'll be reading and explaining in more detail. The priority is on the activities that bring the value to the customer and meet their expectations. We are breaking big long-term goals into mini projects. So it's like very common approach to agile approach in project management. However, it more refers to business planning. So it's like not exactly the same. We rather focus on small wins, achieving quick-term goals and setting up new goals quickly, rather than planning in long time advance, because the situation changes too fast. We are not able to adjust long-term strategies to be achieved because too many factors change at the same time. Like we have this forecast of growth, and now inflation, now the war. So we have to start from scratch. So it's not so good for the business for sure. When it comes to implementation times of these actions we are taking, they have to be quick. We cannot plan in months, years. We should plan activities that can be delivered within weeks. And to be able to do that, we cannot just meet regularly on, say, quarterly basis, on two times a year to assess the results that we have. This approach requires a lot of analysis, a lot of more frequent meetings to analyze the results, and more and plan the next actions in more agile way. In case any of our plans is not developing as we planned, we have to be able to make quick corrections and fix the course we have taken. So there is a lean marketing cycle. So we are just setting up some short-term goals. We have an idea on what we would like to do. Then we are preparing how it can be done. So if there are some marketing activities, we are preparing the content, we are preparing the target groups, and then we are just running the campaigns that we've prepared. After the campaign, we are analyzing the results, making some conclusions, trying to find the way to optimize those ideas, and here it go, there it go again. So we're trying to improve what we already did and plan new things based on that, but based on our findings. That approach guarantees that we'll stay, actions we are taking are relevant, will perform as good as possible, will not take bad decisions that will be recognized after long months when it's far too late for that. So how a lead marketing strategy can help your business grow, how to achieve that? So there are three main principles that we are trying to develop and provide to our customers with that would like to take the lean marketing approach. First principle is customer intimacy, second one is precision execution, and third one is growth intelligence. To fully benefit from all of them, they have to be executed at the same time. Like each of them will give you, like if you execute them separately, each of them will give you some benefits for sure. However, to get the best effect, they have to be implemented all at once. Otherwise, for example, you will not be able to execute precisely your activities without getting the right data about your customers, and you will not be able to assess properly your results and define next goals if you don't have, if the data that you collected was based on wrong, if the analysis of the conclusion, the results of your campaigns are based on wrong assumptions regarding your customer database and the effectiveness of your campaigns. So let me just elaborate a little bit about all of these three elements, all of these three principles. First one is the customer intimacy. That's the approach in which we are trying to build very deep bond with our customers. We are collecting information from our website visitors, from our customers, that takes into consideration their privacy. All the with the solution, like the solution that we are offering, of course, like it's a customer engagement platform. It takes into consideration that some customers don't want to be tracked, but on the other hand, they like to get the better experience. So what we're doing here with the customer intimacy, we're combining first-party tracking, this is one that customer allows you to do, with the data that are willingly sharing with you in order to get better experience. So this is called zero-party data. And for that, we are just collecting information on each individual customer, thanks to the technology that we use to store information that is collected across different systems, across different channels, regardless if the customer is buying in the physical store, in the mobile application, in e-kiosk, or in e-commerce. All the data lands in the same place. We're building 360-degree view of the customer. We are asking the customer for their preferences in order to deliver them better experience, to keep the promise of being being the best partner when it comes to their current needs to buy. We're collecting all the data in one place. We're enriching this data with some predictions on the customer behavior, because as we have the full complete information on the customer activities, like I said earlier, we combine data from as the customers browsing your store on their phones, on their desktop devices. They can buy in the physical stores if you have them. We are connecting all the siloed data in one place, and based on that, all the decisions that you'll be later on making will be based on complete data. We'll be not, for example, trying to reactivate customers who did not buy anything in the e-commerce, but they went to the physical store, or will not send a abandoned cart recovery campaign to a customer because they left products in the mobile app with the unfinished transaction, because they went to the e-commerce and they bought the product. So having the complete data, our communication will get more relevant to the customer. We can better personalize our communication. We know at what time to communicate with customers, and based on that, we'll be growing trust in our customers and their willingness to get back, because they see that we know what we do. In case they are sharing the information with us, they see that it's used properly. And we are not generating noise. Like in our communication, what we would like to be laser focused on the current customer needs. If we know that the customer is interested in a specific product right now, in a specific channel, we are able to deliver that later on. And the customer intimacy is directly connected to the things that I already mentioned, like how to execute these activities. And we call the precision execution framework, which is actually the possibility of using the data that you collect about your customer to deliver right content to the right person at right time in the right channel. So anytime we are showing any communication to our customers, either at the level of the website, in the mobile app, in emails, in web push notifications, whenever your agent, your call center is calling to the customer, it always have to be relevant to the customer. You should always refer to the information that we know about the customer. So we are facilitating dynamic segmentation of customers. With all the data that we collect about each individual customer profiles, system will this kind of system will allow you to create hyper personalized segments of customers, hyper segmented groups of customers, I would say. So there are lots of different criteria that we can take into consideration to make sure we are providing the customer with right content. So for example, if you run some very simple segmentation in your store, like let's say you have a fashion store and you have regular segmentation based on the gender of the customer. You have products for men, women, for children, for example. Based on the previous purchases, you can tell which products the customer might like to buy. But if you take into consideration also the transactional history, recent behavior on the website, the information that the customer filled in the form, like for example, what size of clothes they wear, what kind of style they like, more casual or more elegant, for example, you already know that like 70% of the products you would normally send in the newsletter will not fit into their preferences. So utilizing of the data collected thanks to the customer intimacy approach with the tools that allow you to send messages across different channels at right moment, automated, personalized one-to-one, will give you the better results. If you compare the results from standard newsletter, we have lots of these examples where a customer is sending a bulk newsletter with static content, and they have, let's say, 2% click-through rate. If you compare it to a dynamic email that is sent after the customer is browsing products on the page, and the email will contain the products that the customer actually browsed and some recommendations on alternative products or maybe better priced products, you can see like 5 to 10 times higher click-through rates and conversion rates on these kind of campaigns. So like doing the lean marketing here would be finding the most relevant groups of customers, choosing the content very precisely to make sure that it will be relevant to them, and at the same time having a lot of different scenarios activated that will be responding to different activities once we identify a specific need in the customer. So because of that, the customer is like, we are teaching the customer, okay, we understand your needs. Anytime you get any information from us, you should check it, because for sure it will be something that will be interesting for you. And the last thing, as we have these kind of campaigns, we need to have the possibility to precisely analyze and plan what to do next. And one thing is like we can do human analysis on the activities, like we can compare ourselves how our open rates, click-through rates are changing, what's the conversion rate now, what it was like before the pandemics, during the pandemics, before the war, during the war, and so on. We can do this kind of analysis, but it requires a lot of resources. Again, it requires some dependencies on other departments than marketing usually. So in order to eliminate these additional costs actually that are required to run this analysis, you can utilize the tools that you have in this kind of platforms. So there are some machine learning algorithms that will be analyzing the data in real time, trying to find out some correlations between customer activities, their buying habits, and predict this different types of activities of our customers. Looking at the transactional history of the customer, we can tell what's the probability with which this customer would like to buy. And if this probability is low, then no need to send them any messages now, because otherwise it will be irrelevant. Again, we'll just lose their trust, actually. Like why you're sending me another email or another web push campaign as I just bought products from you 3 days ago. That's a very obvious example, but quite common, unfortunately. And what is related, to this, the analysis, the forecast, the predictions that the software will deliver needs to be very easily accessible to you, because even if you have the possibility to understand what is going on, you still should be able to easily execute the changes that you would like to implement. And that and in that what will help you is the no-code approach to this kind of platforms development. So if you are using any marketing system, it has to be easy. Otherwise, again, you will depend on external resources. You will need to ask your IT colleagues to develop something for you, to export something, and so on. The platforms, contemporary time platforms, the best platforms will deliver you the seamless experience in when you are configuring the processes, thanks to the no-code approach. Like all of the campaigns should be like drag and drop. There should be wizards that guide you through the process. Otherwise, you need to spend a lot of time, again, spend additional resources on planning your activities. So that's how it refers to the lean marketing approach. And actually, what results are achieved and why. So 67% of CMOs that took the lean marketing approach see increased profits and revenues. And they do that by keeping the organization customer focused. So we need to explain the organization that it's not like 80s that we have some products, so we'll just sell them. If we have too many products, let's just give better promotional price and we'll sell them. No, it's like counterproductive. We need to understand first the needs of the customers, and then based on that plan what kind of products we should promote, what kind of campaigns we should run. And the customer first approach is a customer-centric approach will guarantee us the success. Otherwise, we'll just lose the customers and we'll lose their attention. Any kind of activities we're taking need to be implemented quickly. The results that we'll be achieving needs to be quick. We have to show our CEOs that all activities we're taking can easily be translated into sales, into revenue. Otherwise, it will not make clear sense to them. Marketing team is more productive. Like if we are focusing only on the best performing things, then we're not wasting time on, I don't want to call it like creative things that are necessary, but too much of creative thinking, if there are no basic things set up, it's not super good. Because of this, we are delivering better products, more relevant products to the customers, and the velocity of our work is just also increased. So how this affects the business? So if we look at these charts, how all of this affects the revenue growth. So if we look at the customer intimacy, we are trying to build an authentic relationship with our customers, and we are increasing thanks to that loyalty. We are getting their trust, we are improving the retention, we are increasing the parameters that refer to the customer lifetime value. We'll just discuss this in a bit. If we look at precision execution, we are providing the customer with best omnichannel experience, regardless what message they get, regardless which channel they will have relevant message. You can then look at at the benchmarks available in different case studies, and you compare your results, and you can see that they are the same or even better. And then when it comes to growth intelligence, it's like a combination of human guidance and human factor and AI guidance to understand what exactly is going on and take the right actions later on. So all of this will be translating into improved KPIs, such as the lowered churn rates, the growing number of returning customers, increased lifetime value, increased average order value, the size of the order, increased conversion rates. Will just reduce the cost of customer acquisition. If we are taking some advertising campaigns, we'll be also decreasing cost per sale, because some of our activities will not require anymore to reach out to the same customer again using ads. You can use your own communication channels to reach out to the customers you already have in your database. And thanks to that, you will just increase the ROI in your marketing. So I believe it sounds good, like it's quite a holistic approach. But looking at all of these challenges we have now, we strongly believe that's the best approach you can take for now. So I hope you agree, and that it sounds interesting to you, that you'll be also interested in implementing this kind of approach to your business. So I'll be happy to hear all your questions now and answer all your questions, as this is the end of the presentation. So thank you very much for participation. I'm looking forward to your questions. You can ask them on chat. Like, I know this is Zoom, but it's like your mics are turned off. So in case you have any questions, please just let me know on chat. Okay, so there are some questions that might be more private. So in case you would like to discuss it in person or directly, you can just contact me directly, and we'll be happy to help. Thank you, everybody, for your attendance today. Have a good day, and happy holidays if you are planning to leave soon. The presentation will be shared. Also, the recording, if you'd like to have it, please just drop us an email. You can respond to the invitation to this webinar, and we'll send you the materials. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.